and welcome to another edition of the Business of OTT. I am Chris Linden, your host and Chief Operating Officer at ActiveVideo. Today, we'll be talking OTT content providers with my guest, Ed Lee, who is the SVP of Content Strategy and Partnerships. Welcome, Ed.
Thanks for having me.
So what is the state of apps in 2020, Ed?
Yeah, the business is really taking off. It's a super exciting time to be part of the OTT business. You know, we see a revenue forecast of about 167 billion globally for the OTT business by 2025. We're seeing an incredible amount of content choice enter the market. Disney Plus launched last year, and now they're over 50 million subscribers, which is just incredible and growing fast, and they're expanding globally. We saw the launch of HBO Max and Peacock several months ago, and they're doing really, really well in terms of acquiring new subscribers since their recent launches. We've heard from Paramount and CBS that they are rebranding the CBS All Access service to Paramount Plus, and they're going to be adding a bunch more content and launching that next year, along with Discovery's new AVOD and SVOD service, which should be launching some point in 2021. And then finally, just the rise of the FAST. I mean, I think this is just such a category that is building with a lot of excitement and a lot of revenue opportunity across the advertising business. And FAST is the free ad-supported TV services like Tubi and Pluto TV. Really an incredible time to be a consumer with all this great content available.
So as we see all this new content being generated, what is the business model evolving in the market?
Yeah, the business models are wide and varied. You know, I've been in this business since 2009, and we saw the start of both TVOD and SVOD, and those are really the primary business models. And now we're seeing, obviously, the surge of AVOD, as I just talked about. We're seeing PVOD, which is premium video on demand, and an example of that was Mulan being made available by Disney directly through the Disney Plus service, I believe last month. We're seeing over in Europe a category called broadcaster video on demand, or BVOD, which are all the commercial and public broadcasters who are launching apps directly to consumer. And then finally, you're seeing this hybrid business model emerge, where you've got some services like Amazon, which is offering SVOD and TVOD and AVOD and pay-per-view. So there are a myriad of different business models that are being made available to consumers.
So with all this happening, how critical is streaming to these content providers? How is it driving their bottom line?
Yeah, it's becoming much more relevant. We saw a couple weeks ago an article from Disney that said they were going through a major restructure to put streaming first, just because of the state of the entertainment business, and streaming is now sort of become front and center for them from a business model standpoint. We're hearing rumblings that other industry leaders are thinking about doing the same thing. So streaming has been around for a while, and we've seen that happen in the marketplace. But now we're really starting to see all these major media global brands and regional global brands really, really leaning into streaming. And it's a super, super exciting time to be a consumer, to consume all this fantastic content directly.
And we've heard a lot in recent months about AVOD taking a bigger role in streaming products. How does that fit in your mind?
Yeah, I mean, AVOD is moving fast. I think it's estimated that AVOD will account for about 30% of all the revenue generated globally from the OTT category. As I mentioned before, Tubi and Pluto are really, really doing incredible work with their applications and with their ad tech capabilities. We're seeing more and more content being launched on these free AVOD services. You know, you're also starting to see a little bit of SVOD fatigue, if you will, where the more SVOD services that come onto the marketplace, you know, consumers are starting to take a look at their pocketbooks and trying to figure out whether or not they want to subscribe to these new services, because it does cost money as these new services come on board. So AVOD is starting to take more of a front and center role. But what's interesting is that you're also seeing some of these paid services starting to launch AVOD capabilities. So Peacock has an ad-supported tier. HBO Max has said they're going to be launching an ad-supported tier. Even Netflix is dabbling with some free content that they're making available. So AVOD is really this incredible category that we really see growing and making some big moves in the coming years.
And finally, what about distribution? How do these content providers see distribution, and what challenges are they facing?
Yeah, I mean, distribution obviously is a huge component to it. I mean, without distribution, you have no way for the content to get to the consumer. But what you see in the marketplace is just a lot of fragmentation. You've got multiple operating systems, multiple middleware vendors, just multiple different technology stacks where content companies need to staff and resource, different deployments on different different platforms. And that costs money. There's lots that goes into building the apps, to supporting the apps, to pushing updates. So it really is something that the industry needs to really lean into and identify. And then finally, you're starting to see, you're even seeing some carriage disputes where you thought that was just relegated to, the legacy cable providers. You're now seeing carriage disputes bubble up with both Roku and Amazon, with HBO Max in particular, and even Peacock is still in a carriage dispute with Amazon. So lots happening in the industry and lots of opportunity.
All right, thanks, Ed. Great information, great insights, and thank you all for staying with us for another edition of the Business of OTT. We look forward to seeing you soon.
Thanks for having me.